Hello and welcome to the Black Cat Bushcraft channel. Recently on my channel I've shown several different primitive style traps, and I've also mentioned that these types of traps are limited to a survival scenario. So these are things that you would use in a worst case situation where you had no other means to catch food, to get calories for yourself or for your family. Obviously, primitive style traps are not going to be as effective as like modern steel traps, and by no means am I suggesting that this type of technique would replace that. If you want to get into legal trapping, that's the route to go. But it's good to have these tools in your toolbox, so to speak, and to know these techniques just in case you ever find yourself in that worst case scenario and you need to get calories and protein for yourself again or your family. You can know how to set every trap in the book, but if you don't know exactly where to set those traps, your chances of success are greatly reduced. So today I wanted to just walk around this little area of woods that I'm operating in and see if I could find maybe 5 sites that I would actually set a trap if I wanted to greatly increase my chances of catching an animal. The key is to look for animal sign, areas where there's water, burrows, places that the animals might burrow down in, or even nests up in a tree. So you're looking for signs of animal activity. Also, you could look for scat or the animal's droppings. Those are all signs that you're in a right area where animals are actually inhabiting. I don't claim to be an expert in this, but it is something I'm spending a lot of time researching on. So just wanted to walk around and show you guys the sites that I would pick in this general area. So stick with me, let's walk around, see what we can find. This little canal right here is not a significant source of water. However, it's the most significant in this area, as there's no ponds and no rivers or streams, anything like that in this area. And this little canal tends to hold water most of the time. So I'm sure that any animals in this area are going to come and investigate this water and probably at some point may drink from this. Although it's not, again, the best source, but it is rainwater that collects here in this little canal. So I could walk down that canal and definitely look for areas that might show animal sign and might be good places to start. So right here is a prime example of what I'm talking about. Right in here I can see where deer are crossing this, and they've been doing this for long term, as I can actually see where the bank is worn, and I can see a distinct hoof print right here. And again, this whole bank right here is just kind of beaten down where the deer have come back and forth through here. And most likely if deer are crossing here, other animals will possibly cross at this position too. All right, so right here's another definite point of activity with the animals. If you look at this greenbrier right here, which is probably hard to see on camera, this thing's been chewed off, and this piece is chewed off. There's another piece that's chewed off right here. And again, I can see tracks where animals are coming through this water. Most likely it's deer. If I look right here where it goes back, there's another worn out trail, and I can see that trail all the way back down going into the woods. I also notice right here there's a couple of fresh crawfish or crayfish mounds there too, so that would be another source of protein that I might pick up on while I'm looking for other trap sites. Right there you can see those crayfish mounds just a little bit better, and that would definitely be worth spending some time on if I was in a survival scenario. Another source of protein that I might catch pretty easily. All right, so this is a really good find here. This is where part of a tree has died, and it has created a little bit of a hollow here. And that in itself is not all that significant, but down in that hollow, you can see that there are several little tunnels that go back down into the ground, and I can't really even see just how deep those are. And I would just about bet that some type of an animal is burrowed down in there, and it could be several using that, because some of the tunnels are on this side and a couple of the tunnels go back this way. So most likely there's some type of a mammal that's burrowing down in here and using this natural shelter to his advantage. So right around this area, most likely where the animal's going to be coming in and out, would definitely be a site worth setting a trap just to see. All right, so this is the backside of that tree that I was just showing you. And there's a nice little shielded entrance to get down into that hollow here. And I want you to look here, hoping that this will show up well, but that's a broken pecan shell. And there are several other pieces right here on the ground. I know somebody's gonna say it's not pecan, but pecan, so whatever you call it, the main thing to understand is that there's no pecan trees right in this area. Not anywhere close, so that cues you that some animal has been going in and out of here, possibly squirrels, and that this area right here would be an awesome place to set up a trap. All right, so I've got another really good site here. There's 3 trees that are coming up right here together, and one of those is a tulip poplar, and it's split off into 2 trunks. And where those 2 split, there's a little opening right down here, and I'm sure you can probably see that where my hand is. And that tunnel goes way on back in there from what I can see. And you can tell that it's kind of disturbed right through there. That ground is very slick where something's been going in and out. So this would be another excellent site to target, because you know most likely some type of an animal's going to be coming in and out of here. And so with that, you're likely to catch something. All right, so I found a different type of site that would definitely be worth targeting. Right here is one of the widest spots in this little canal and some of the deepest water. Not that that's saying much with this little canal. But if you look right here, you can see where a long time ago a tree fell and it created a natural crossing right here. And this tree actually runs right up to another right here, which goes way up and goes into some of the largest trees in this particular area. And a lot of those trees happen to be chestnut oak and white oak, and so there's a lot of acorns there. So a lot of squirrels would inhabit this area with all those acorns, and I'm sure that they would use a crossing like this. There's also another smaller crossing right there. And so anytime that a tree falls and creates that type of a crossing, it may be something that an animal might tend to use. So definitely an area worth potentially targeting. Now this is definitely deer sign, but it's an area of a lot of activity. You can even look at the bank again and see where the deer have been marching through here, and the ground is beaten down where they have a really nice trail going back into the woods. And if deer are making a natural path, then other animals are likely to follow that. So just off of any deer path may be another good site to set that other animals might come by and smell a baited trap and potentially fall into it. Now I have a different type of crossing. You can see the canal comes down through here, and now there's actually a spot of high land right here before it goes back into the next part of the canal. And so right here I can definitely tell that there's animal activity crossing through here. You can tell that there's tracks, and the tracks are overlapping, so you can't really distinguish anything much, but you can definitely tell that that's an area that some animals may be crossing. And right here off from this high spot in the canal is a tree that has fallen parallel to the canal. And if you look right on this side of that log, there's definitely a beaten path there. There's traffic coming through there, and you can see it. It's probably hard to pick it up on camera, but the plants are just kind of beaten down through that little alley there. So while that may be deer that are making that path, other animals are going to choose the path of least resistance and come through here as well. So just off of this path right over in this area may be a good place for some type of a trap, so that the deer aren't tripping over your trap, but the other animals will be drawn off the trail to some type of a baited trap. So definitely a natural funnel here that may be a good area to target. So I have my camera completely zoomed in on this nest that's up in the top of this pine tree, and it's so far up I really can't see it well, and I can't tell exactly what I'm looking at, but I know that some type of an animal has a nest up there, and I suspect that it's some type of a mammal, not a bird. And if that's the case, that animal is going to have to come up and down that tree to get food and water. And so the base of that tree would be a good place to target with some type of a trap, because you know that that's a place where animals are going to frequent. So looking up in the trees and finding places that animals have those nests built or those homes built up there, those are always going to be good places to target. Just to give you an idea of how far up that nest is, up here. So he's way up there. Hard to see from the ground. Alright, so I don't want to go on too long with this video, but I did want to throw out some ideas of places that you may want to target if you were in a situation and you had to use these types of traps. If you're a trapper and you use modern traps, chances are you already know all this type of stuff because you're already targeting these types of locations. Think about an animal and what it needs. Same thing that you need as a person. You need a safe place to live. Animals either have a secure burrow or they have a nest up in a tree. So if you can find those locations that they inhabit, those are places you can target. Animals have to have food. So if you can find the food source in a given area or figure out what the animals that you're targeting are eating, there's your target location. Animals have to have water. So if you find the water source in a given area where the animals are getting that water, then that's your target location. And you can pick up sign around that and move out from there. I didn't walk more than 50 meters square in all of this video. In all these locations, they're within 50 meters or less. If I were to branch out another 50 meters, go 100 meters square, I'd probably find at least double or 3 times the sign in places that I might want to target. So it's not really hard. It doesn't have to cover a huge area to set a mass number of traps to give you good chances in catching an animal. So I did want to throw these ideas out there. Again, I'm not a pro at this, just something that I'm spending time researching and practicing on. I appreciate your time and interest. I hope you'll come back often to the Black Hat Bushcraft channel. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you click that button. Make sure you click the bell so you'll stay notified of all the upcoming videos. And I hope to be talking to you with another one very soon. Until that one, take care and God bless. Here, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel.